Assalamualaikum. My name is BKAR3033. My matrix number 288-543. For my part, I will present about Water Holding Berhad. For the background of Water Holding Berhad has listed on the Bursa Malaysia main market since 23 April 1996. Water Holding Berhad provides service and repair of mobile telecommunication equipment item. Their headquarters in Taling Jaya. Water Holding Berhad aims to be a leading corporation in our core areas. Their mission are to place the interests of our shareholders as the highest priority by maximizing shareholders' value. Disclosure of MFRS 108 for Water Holding in 2020 shows there are disclosures concerning MFRS 108 changes in accounting policy, estimates and errors. They said if the initial accounting for a business combination is incomplete by the end of the reporting period in which the combination occurs, the group reports provisional amounts for the items which the accounting is incomplete. Also, Water Holding Berhad has changes in ownership interest in subsidiary companies without change in control. For 2021, they also have MFRS 108, which is when the intercompany transaction balance and unrealized gain or loss on transaction between group companies are eliminated. For disclosure of MFRS 116 property, plant and equipment in 2020 and 2021, Water Holding has the measurements basis used for determining the gross carrying amount, the depreciation method used, the useful lives or depreciation rates used, the gross carrying amount and the accumulated depreciation. And last but not least, there has a reconciliation of the carrying amount at the beginning and end of the period showing. For the disclosure of MFRS 136 impairment of asset, Water Holding Berhad has the amount of the impairment loss recognized or reversed in 2020 and 2021. Common key audit matters disclosed in the Water Holding Berhad is valuation in investment properties. Investment properties are measured initially at cost and subsequently at fair value with any changes therein recognized in profit or loss for the period in which they arise. The fair value of investment properties was determined by a firm of independent external valuers using the comparison methods of valuation. They said that they have evaluated the independent valuers' competence, capabilities, independence, and objectivity. They also assess the methodologies used and the appropriateness of the key assumption of the valuation report based on our knowledge. Financial statement analysis of Water Holding Berhad for profitability. In 2020, the profit margin was negative 34.64%, while in 2021, the profit margin was 42.64%. For the liquidity, in 2020, the current ratio was 9.76, while in 2021, the current ratio was 10.92. For the solvency, financial ratios, there are no changes in debt of total assets ratio since the amount of debt for Water Holding Berhad are RM0.83 for every 1 ringgit Malaysia of debt in both 2020 and 2021.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Aifatina binti Kamardin and my matric number is 288668. I want to present about WCE Holding Berhad. WCE Holding Berhad is an investment holding company which is located in Malaysia. The business is split into 3 segments. First segment is toll concession, which is involved in the building, management and tolling of highways. Second segment is construction, provides construction contracts and project management services. The last segment is other segment, which is provide lease services and investment holding. For moving forward, the group is convinced that its investment in infrastructure and real estate will put it on a sustainable route to the long-term growth. Next, I want to present about disclosure of MFRS 108 and MFRS 110. In 2020 and 2021, WCE Holding Berhad has adopted amendments to MFRS 101, which is presentation of financial statements, and MFRS 108 accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and error. Enhance the concept of accounting estimate in order to clarify how an organization should differentiate between the changes in accounting policies and changes in accounting estimates. Changes in accounting estimates are applied prospectively to the transactions, other events or conditions from the date of the change, whereas changes in accounting policies are normally applied retrospectively to prior transactions and other historical occurrences. However, there is no disclosure of MFRS 110 events after reporting period in either 2020 or 2021. For disclosure of MFRS 116, WCE Holding Berhad used the measurement basis for determining the gross carrying amount. The depreciation method also being used. The useful life or the depreciation rates used, the gross carrying amount and the accumulated depreciation, which is aggregated with accumulated impairment losses at the beginning and end of the period, a reconciliation of the carrying amount at the beginning and end of the period showing as addition and also depreciation. For disclosure of MFRS 136, in 2020 and 2021, the events and circumstances are led to the recognition or reversal of the impairment loss. For an individual asset, if the aggregation of asset for identifying the cash generating unit (CGU) has changed since the previous estimate of the cash generating unit's recoverable amount, if any, a description of the current and former way of aggregating assets and the reasons for changing the way the cash generating unit is identified. Whether the recoverable amount of the asset cash generating unit is its fair value less cost to sell or its value in use. If recoverable amount is fair value less cost to sell, the basis used to determine the fair value less cost to sell, such as whether fair value was determined by the reference to NFT market. The common key audit methods disclosed in the WCE Holding Berhad is revenue and corresponding cost recognition for construction activities. They are concerned in this area because significant directors' judgment is required, particularly in determining the progress toward fulfillment of a performance obligation, the extent of construction costs incurred, the estimate total construction contracts revenue and costs, and the recoverability of construction contracts project. A range of uncertainties impact the predicted total revenue and costs, which are dependent on the result of future events. They are comparing the director's primary assumption to contractual conditions, as well as our information gained through analyzing changes in assumption from the previous fiscal year and talking with the project manager. Besides, they read the estimated progress towards projected fulfillment of a performance requirement against architect or consultant certificates. Furthermore, they examine the mathematical computation of recognized income and matching expenses for projects throughout the fiscal year, as well as analyze and receive necessary communications regarding probable liquidated and determined damages. We move to the financial ratios. First, we have profitability ratio, which is asset turnover. In 2020, asset turnover was 0.26% and in 2021, the asset turnover was 0.36%. Next, we have liquidity ratio. We take the current ratio. We can see that WCE Holding Berhad is more capable in paying its obligation in 2021, which is 2.63 times because of the higher current ratio compared to the 2021 2.16 times. For the solvency ratio, we have debt to total asset ratio. We can see that there is a difference of 4 cents between the amount of debt for every 1 ringgit ratio of asset in 2020 and 2021. The amount of debt for every 1 ringgit of asset is slightly increased in 2021.
Hi, my name is Nur BKAR3033. My matrix number is 284332. For my part, I'm going to present about Bursa Malaysia Berhad. Bursa Malaysia Berhad is one of the largest bourses in Asia. They operate and regulate a fully integrated exchange, offering a comprehensive range of exchange-related facilities, including listing, trading, clearing, settlement, and depository services. As an exclusive marketplace, Bursa Malaysia provides easy access to many investment products and services, connecting domestic and foreign market participants to all types of opportunities to help them to expand or invest with impact to their business. Bursa Malaysia is the Malaysian capital markets frontline regulator with the responsibility of ensuring a fair and orderly market in securities and derivatives traded through its facilities. For the disclosure MFRS 108 changes in accounting policy, Bursa Malaysia Berhad has an adoption of a management standard, which is an amendment to MFRS 101 presentation of financial statements and MFRS 108 accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and errors, but this pronouncement does not have any impact on the financial statement of the group and the company for year 2020. This standard has not yet effective for the year 2021 as well. This standard can be seen to be effective for financial periods beginning on or after 1st January 2023, which are amendments to MFRS 108 accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and errors. And as for MFRS 110 for Bursa Malaysia Berhad, there is no disclosure governance in the annual report in either 2020 or 2021. For the disclosure of MFRS 116 Property, Plant and Equipment (PPE) in 2020 and 2021, these are the list of items that can be found in Bursa Malaysia Berhad's annual report. As for the disclosure of MFRS 136 Impairment of Asset in 2020 and 2021, these are the list of items that can be found in Bursa Malaysia Berhad's annual report. The common key audit matters disclosed by Bursa Malaysia Berhad is valuation of goodwill and investment in subsidiaries for impairment. Management is expected to complete impairment evaluations for goodwill and investment in subsidiaries with impairment indicators on an annual basis. These assessments are important to our audit because they require significant managerial judgment and are based on assumptions influenced by predicted future market and economic conditions. They run sensitivity tests on the primary inputs of impairment models to see how seasonal different assumptions affected the overall carrying value. For financial performance ratio, there are slight changes in profit margin ratio of Bursa Malaysia Berhad, which they generated 49 cents for every 1 ringgit of sales in 2020 and decreased to 47 cents for every 1 ringgit in 2021. Bursa Malaysia Berhad is more capable of paying its obligation in 2020 than in 2021 because of the higher current ratio, which means the company has 1 ringgit and 20 cents of current assets for every 1 ringgit of current liability compared to 2020. There is a difference of 9 cents between the amount of debt for every 1 ringgit of assets in 2020 and 2021. The amount of debt for every 1 ringgit of asset is slightly increased in 2021.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Siti Noayuni binti Fawanizan. My meeting number is 288406. I will present about WCT Holdings Berhad. For the background, WCT Group was founded on 14 January 1981 with the incorporation of WCT Outwork and Building Contractors Sdn Berhad and was later renamed WCT Berhad WCTB. WCT Holdings Berhad is a Malaysian investment holding company that also manages its subsidiaries and joint venture enterprises. The company's three major industries is engineering and construction, property development and property investment and management. Then, the group has a global presence in 6 nations from Malaysia and Qatar to the UAE, Bahrain, India and Vietnam. Closure of MFRS 108 in 2020, WCT Holdings Berhad has adopted amendment to MFRS 101 presentation of financial statement and MFRS 108 accounting policy changes in accounting estimate and error definition of material. 2021, although this standard was released in 2020, it is not yet in effect. For 2021 as well, this standard which amend MFRS 108 accounting policies changes in estimate can be considered as being effective for financial period beginning on or after 1 January 2023. Then, no disclosure of MFRS 110 events after reporting period in either 2020 or 2021. For disclosure of MFRS 116, the measurement base used for determining the gross client amount, the depreciation method used, the useful life or the depreciation rate used, the gross client amount and the accumulated depreciation aggregate with accumulated impairment loss at the beginning and end of the period. A reconciliation of the carried amount at the beginning and end of the period showing addition assets classified as held for sale or included in a disposal group classified as held for sale in accordance with MFRS 5 and other disposal, depreciation, the nets and change differences arising on the translation of the financial statement from the functional currency into a different presentation currency, including the translation of a foreign operation into the presentation currency of the reporting. For the closure of MFRS 136, the event and circumstances that lead to the recognition or reversal of the impairment loss. For cash generating unit, a description of the cash generating unit such as whether it is a product line, a plant, a business operation and geographical area, or a reportable segment as defined in FRS 8. Whether the recoverable amount of the asset cash generating unit is its fair value less cost to sell or its value in use. If recoverable amount is value in use, the discount rate used in the current estimate and previous estimate, if any, of value in use. Next, for key audit matters, revenue and cost of sales from construction and property development activities. Calculating the overall estimated cost of each construction and property development project requires significant management judgment and estimation. Next, the fair value of investment property. Investment properties are valued at fair market value as any gains or losses resulting from changes in fair value are accounted for in profit or loss for the financial year in which they occur. Financial statement analysis of WCT Holdings Berhad for profitability in 2020, profit margin was negative 10.54% and in 2021, profit margin was 8.24%. For liquidity in 2020, current ratio was 1.29 and in 2021, current ratio was 1.16. For solvency, in 2020, debt to total asset was 57.20% and in 2021, debt to total asset was 54.29%.
Malakoff Corporation Berhad is a power sector public trading firm. It was founded on October 9, 1975. It is a water and electricity producer with a primary focus on power generation, water desalination, waste management and environmental services. The headquarters are located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and they also serve Saudi Arabia, Bahrain and Oman. In addition, Malakoff is categorized as the largest independent power producer in Malaysia. In the year 2020, there is no disclosure concerning MFRS 108 changes in accounting policy, estimates and error in the annual report. In 2021, it is mentioned that the amendments to MFRS 108 will be effective for annual period beginning on or after January 1st, 2023. For the disclosure of MFRS 110 events after the reporting period, Malakoff Corporation Berhad does not have any disclosure about it in either 2020 or 2021's annual report. The checklist based on MFRS 116 property, plant and equipment for both years show the same item as stated in the slide, except that in 2021, Malakoff Corporation Berhad has information about the depreciation in the reconciliation of the carrying amount at the beginning and end of the period. Meanwhile, for MFRS 136 impairment, from all the checklists stated in the report, Malakoff Corporation Berhad only has one, which is the amount of impairment loss or recognition in both 2020 and 2021. Malakoff Corporation Berhad's common key audit item is the goodwill valuation arising from the purchase of Alam Flora Sindram Berhad. They focus on this goodwill since its carrying value is significant and the impairment test is prone to changes in assumptions.